siya. Ay! Ala, nawala. Oh, saan na? Uy. Ala, nawala man ako sa ekran, guys, ha. Enter. Interruptions. Team captain, dili pwede, ha? Dili pwede na dili pwede na maka-request ka. If you are only a player and then you will request for a regular game interruption, then that might be a cause for delaying the game, and you will be penalized for that. Because you know already that as a player, you cannot request for a regular game interruption. Okay? Hindi pwede. So, that might be a cause for penalty, no? Kanang score and service to the opponent. So, that is why, di ba, ang sinabi ko noon sa inyo, players should know the rules of the game. And aside from that, they should also abide by the rules, and of course, they should also have to accept referee's decision. Timeouts and technical timeouts. Okay? Kailan magkaroon ng technical timeouts? And kailan yung timeouts ibigay sa inyo? So, ang timeout ay ano ito, hindi pa ata ito na-discuss. Substitution before the start of a set is permitted and should be recorded as a regular substitution in that set. I think na-discuss na natin ito, guys, like for example, before the start of the service, of the first service, before that start of the set, nandun na yung mga player, then of course, the scorer and the second referee will check your position. That is based on the lineup that you submitted and the positioning of players. So, if your name is not in the list and then you are in the court, okay, pwedeng maka-request kayo for a regular substitution because the game has not started yet. Okay? But it should be recorded, no? It should be recorded in the score sheet as a regular substitution. Regular substitution. Okay? So kung kinsa tong doon na talaga siya. Parang nasa na siya. Kung regular substitution, pwede pa rin siyang maka-out. Parang first, na siya, first starting lineup. Kasama na siya. Timeouts and technical timeouts. Timeout requests must be made by showing the corresponding hand signal. Okay? Okay. When the ball is out of play, di ba? You know the signal of timeout.
Ikaw ba, bakit di ka nag-sleep?
Now,
Pag-step.
when the ball is out of play, saka na
mag-play mamaya.
the
Diba sabi mo,
request
play
for
tayo?
timeout is granted. And before the whistle for service. Okay? That is during interruption time. All requested timeouts last for 30 seconds. Okay? Kung sa International Federation, International Volleyball Federation, world and official competitions, for example, it is obligatory to use the buzzer. Pero, siyempre kung wala buzzer, like for example, nag-timeout, buzzer ang gagamitin, tapos signal on the court that is requesting the timeout. Pero kung wala'y buzzer, pwede na yung whistle, di ba? Meron, ginawa ninyo yan, timeout, and then point to the team that is wanted for a timeout. So, the hand signal to request timeout. For International Volleyball Federation, another one, world and official competitions. Okay, in sets 1 to 4, diba? This is actually sa championship na match. Okay, kasi pag sinabi nating 2 out of 3 or katong 3 sets lang, that is actually a regular match. Pero kung 5 na gani, that is a championship match. So during the first, second, third match, there will be 2 additional 60-second technical timeouts. Okay? So, ano itong technical timeouts? These are applied automatically when the leading team reaches the 8th and 16th point. Taman man ta sa 25, no? So kung moabot ang isa katong leading team og 8, there will be additional 60-second na timeout. We call it technical timeouts. Okay? So that will be on the 8th and 16th point. Pero in the deciding 5th set, guys, there are no more technical timeouts. Wala na technical timeouts, di ba? Kung halimbawa 5 sets, yung championship doon is, kung halimbawa aabot sila 2 wins, both teams, yung 5th set doon is the decision game. And when there is a decision game, it will only be up to 15 points. Okay? So during this set, there will be no technical timeouts. Wala na yung additional na 60-second technical timeouts sa 8 and 16. Kasi nga hanggang ano lang tayo, hanggang 15 lang. Okay? So only 2 timeouts of 60 seconds duration may be requested. So in the 5th set, you can still request. Mayroon pa rin dalawang timeouts with 30 seconds ang duration. Okay, now during all timeouts, including technical timeouts, the players in play must go to the free zone near the bench. Okay? Di ba na meron tayong free zone na 3 meters from the boundary line? Pero you will go to the free zone na sarap ng inyong bench. Okay? That is during all timeouts. Regular timeout or technical timeouts. Okay, players in play must go to the free zone near their bench para ang referee or para ang coach dili na siya mosulod. Dito na lang sila istoryahanay, mga saba si coach, magunsa pa niya, whatever, in their free zone. Okay. Then, tapos na yan. Dito na tayo sa substitution. A substitution is, do you have questions on, do you have questions on interruptions, guys? Okay. Natulog siguro mo, no? A substitution is the act by which the player, other than the libero, ano daw ko sa inyo, Abi? Ang naminaw mo. Ay, naminaw dyan si EJ. Ikaw na lang, EJ. Si Carl, wala mo ko kakita sa iya. Okay, sige. Sa substitution na tayo, EJ. Oops. It is the act by which a player other than the libero or his her replacement player, after being recorded by the scorer, kasi before it will be granted, the referee will request and go to the scorer para ma-record who is going to be substituted and sino yung mag-substitute. After being recorded by the scorer, the substitute enters the game to occupy the position of another player who must leave the court at that moment. Okay? So, saan gagawin yan? Of course, doon sa substitution zone. Saan yung substitution zone? Di ba na ay attack line there is ang substitution zone? Attack line ng kalaban, attack line ng inyong team. So, diretso lang yan hanggang doon sa table of the scorer. But then, of course, di ba naman tayo center line, dili po ka mo lampas doon sa, you should not go to the substitution zone of your opponent. Kaya naman mo yung substitution zone, that is the area na malapit sa second referee. Second referee, no? Or katong 3 meters. Pero doon na siya sa free zone banda, sa labas. Okay? So, again, a substitution is the act by which a player, after being recorded by the scorer, enters the game to occupy the position of another player who must leave the court at that moment. So when the substitution is enforced through injury, no, halimbawa na ay mga injury that happens in the court, injury to a player in play, this may be accompanied by the coach, no? Or a game captain, no, showing the corresponding hand signal. Okay? So pwede siya upanan sa coach palabas. Okay? That is, substitution is enforced because of an injury. Limitation of substitutions. Meron ding limitation ang substitutions, guys, no? So, a player, ito yung mga limitations ng substitution. A player of the starting lineup, like for example, na po mga players diri, ha? Kinsa atong first starting lineup there? Let's say for example, sa position 1, si EJ. EJ, ikaw ang kung ang iyong team mo ay mag-serve, you will be the first to serve. And then, si Chua sa harap ni EJ, si absent pa rin upan aning lalaki. Si Jason na lang. Ikaw ang setter, yung center front. Number 3. Number 4, si Joel Villario. Joel, number 4 ka. Dito ka sa... So, si Chua o si Joel, kayo yung mga spiker natin, ha? Si Jason ang ating... tama ba? Jason? O, si Jason ang ato ang setter. Okay. Sa likod ni Joel, nandoon si Earl. Ay, ikaw na lang, Earl, ang ato ang libero. Sa center back ka. Okay, kasi pa may, napa si Baron. Si Baron, diri sa likod ni Joel. Okay, kompleto na itong players, ha? So, we have the first starting lineup. Alam niyo yung numbering, di ba? Position nila. So, we have number 1, si EJ. Number 2, si Chua. Number 3, si Jason. Number 4, si Joel. Number 5, si Baron. And number 6, si Earl. Siya nga to ang libero. Uy, dapat de gamay atong libero de. Pero si Earl man akong gibutang dire. Magbaylo mo ni. Kinsa may gamay ninyo? Si Earl, dili ni siya dapit dire. Kinsa ba cute dire be? EJ, ikaw na lang. Exchange kayo. Si Earl, there is a number 1. Siya ang first server. Tapos si EJ ang libero. Kasi mas ang mga center back player, sabi ng coach namin sa ano, magaling talaga yung nasa center back player. Yun yung libero. Why? Ano ba yan siya? Defense specialist? And most of the first ball is going to the center back. Diba? So, kung di niya makuha yan, hindi niya maibigay doon sa center, diba? Sa bagay, pwede namang kunin ni Baron o ni Earl ang bola, no? Basta all the second ball should, after the first, kung ikaw ang first ball, ibigay mo doon sa center front. Ibigay doon kay Jason because Jason will be the one to set. So dapat na sila coordination kinsa ang mo spike. Either si Chua or si Joel, and they are on both sides. Okay? So, mag-ikot sila going to the right, no? Si Chua ang next na server. Okay. Limitations. A player of the starting lineup may leave the game, but only once in a set. So, kaisa lang mumugawas, guys. Ito yung starting lineup natin na and re-enter. So, kaisa lang sila mugawas and kaisa lang sila magpasok. But only once in a set. So, once lang mo leave, once lang din papasok. And only to her previous position in the lineup. Oh, alam na niyo kung saan yung lineup ninyo, players, no? So, kung halimbawa lumabas si AJ lumabas after naka-serve. Okay? So, pwede na yan siya substitute. Okay? Let's say, for example, ang nag-substitute sa kanya, nasa likod si John. John de Latina. Pero, another si John. Wala din si John din, no? Sa players, starting lineup. Okay, lumabas si AJ, pumasok si John. And this happens in the substitution zone, no? Kasi i-record pa yung pangalan ni John na ang pinalitan niya is si AJ. It's like that. Recorded lahat yan doon sa score sheet. Okay? So it means na nagkaroon na ng substitution. Pag halimbawa naman, nakaikot na, then bumalik na si John sa pwesto ni AJ, this is the time na pwede nang mo re-enter si AJ sa iya ang starting line-up position. No? Previous position in the line-up. So, pwede na siya musulod, ani, guys. Pero, after na makapasok si AJ, hindi na siya pwedeng lumabas in that particular set. Pero kung halimbawa in the second set, kung there will be a change of ends or change of court, pwede na. Pwede na po na lalabas or will be substituted. As I said, once lang kayo maka-leave in a game and once only maka-re-enter sa game. I think that is very clear. A substitute player may enter the game in place of a player of the starting lineup. Okay, but only once. And he can only be substituted by the same starting player. Dili pwede na si AJ ang hinggawas, si John ang pumasok. Tapos iba yung mag-re-enter. Dapat si AJ pa rin. Kay siya man ang nag-sub kay John, so siya pud gyapon ang re-enter. Exceptional substitution. bakit may mga exceptional substitution? It's because, di ba, mayroon tayong expulsion, injury, disqualification, it's like that. Now, except the libero, ha? A player who cannot continue playing due to injury or illness should be substituted legally. When we say substituted legally, katong kinsa ang mag-sub sa iya. Pero kung halimbawa, wala na, if this is not possible, wala na yung mag-sub sa iya, the team, because there are also team with less than 12, no? So if this is not possible, the team is entitled to make exceptional substitution. So pwede pa pala na you will be requesting for exceptional substitution beyond the limits of kaning rule na 15.6 because of the reason is injury. Okay? So we call that one as exceptional substitution. Then let's move on to official volleyball. Ito. Discuss natin itong official volleyball rules. And exceptional, no, this is still on exceptional substitution. It means that any player who is not on the court at the time of the injury, illness, except the libero, or second libero, or the regular replacement player may be substituted into the game for the injured player. So any, no, means that any player, any of the substitute who is not on court at the time of the injury, it means nga naa siya sa bench. Now, except of course katong libero and the second libero, except sa kanila dili sila pwede mag-substitute doon sa injured player. Okay? So, may be substituted into the game for the injured player. So, pwedeng mag-substitute yung any player na nandyan sa bench for as long as they are in their names were previously recorded. So the substituted injured player, kung halimbawa any player in the starting lineup, if this injured player will be substituted, then he is not allowed to re-enter the match. Okay, take note of the match, guys. Hindi lang siya set, but match. Sa buong laro, hindi na siya pwedeng maka-re-enter. Okay? Like for example, ma'am, na-injured siya, ma'am. Na okay raman po, ma'am. Pwede na siya musulod, anak, ma'am. Okay. Especially kung kuhaan siya ni mga player, no? Kanang magaling talaga na player. Hindi na siya pwedeng makapasok. Hindi na siya pwedeng makapasok. The player is not allowed to re-enter the match. An exceptional substitution cannot be counted in any case as regular substitution. So it's not counted as pag-injury, guys, no? So it is not counted as regular substitution. Ang tawag doon exceptional substitution. So dili na siya kabalik. No? But should be recorded on the score sheet also as part of the total substitutions in the set and match. So, dili din siya ma-record as regular. It cannot be counted. Pero, ma'am, paano nga, ma'am, kung halimbawa, na okay naman ang iyang injury, ma'am, di ba na ay mga team, no, na pwede na siya magsulod kay kuan. Pasudlod. Like, for example, sa kuan, basketball, I do not know masyado sa basketball. Pero, sa volleyball, hindi na pwedeng mag-re-enter kung injury. Siyempre, kung halimbawa, especially kung grabe yung injury, dahil mo naman na siya sa clinic, infirmary, or, di ba? Pero kung hindi lang kayo good siya grabe guys, so kayong ask for exceptional substitution kasi nga you cannot re-enter and play the game. Substitution for expulsion and disqualification. Okay? So, di ba napag-usapan natin yung sa conduct and their sanctions. Substitution for expulsion, di ba? Once a player has committed misconduct, there is a sanction for that. So, an expelled or disqualified player, for example, ito yung misconduct nila or ang kanilang sanction for an expelled or disqualified player must be substituted immediately, di ba? Through a legal substitution. Okay? So, dapat palitan sila agad-agad kasi nga they will serve the sanction of their misconduct. If this is not possible, like for example, kanang wala na mag-sub sa ilaa kay dili na pwede, no? It's not possible na they will be substituted. The team is declared incomplete. No? I-declare sila na incomplete. Pag incomplete, hindi na sila, talo na sila. Illegal substitution. Illegal substitution, guys. A substitution is illegal. Tatawad, guys, mahaba ba ito? Mahaba pa. Bilisan ko lang. Before tayo mag-break, tapusin ko muna ito. Ito na tayo sa illegal substitution. Okay. Substitution is illegal if it exceeds the limitations indicated in Rule 15.6. Okay? So, an unregistered player is involved. So, di ba pag unregistered, it means na you are not in the, your name is not in the score sheet. No? Unregistered ka. So, when a team has made an illegal substitution, like for example, guys, dagan kayo mo players, wala man, gipasulod ni mo siya, gipasulod. And then, wala man dahil siya sa score sheet. So, that's automatically an illegal substitution kaya wala siya sa score sheet. So, when a team has made an illegal substitution and the play has been resumed, the following procedure shall apply in sequence. So, meron yan siyang sanction, guys. Kailangan mo kanang sala, no? Pataka lang man mo pasulod o player na that is not in the score sheet. So, what is the consequence? The team is penalized with a point and service to the opponent. So, light lang kayo ang yang sanction, guys. Mag-aanlag point ang kalaban o ang servisyo. The substitution must be rectified. Number 1 ito the team. Okay. Number 1. And number 2 is the team substitution must be rectified. Or i-ano nila guys ba? I-correct nila ang i-correct nila ang mali, no? It means na kung paalisin yung wala sa listahan, i-rectify lang siya. Another one is the points scored by the team at fault. No? Halimbawa, Team A ang may sala, pataka sila substitute doon sa pinapasok nila yung player as a substitute and yet the name the player is unregistered, or it means na the player is not listed in the score sheet. So, the points scored by the team at fault, since the fault was committed, are cancelled. So, pagpasok ng katong substitute, tapos, halimbawa, wala dayon na-discover nga, wala din niyang pangalan sa score sheet, no? Kaya usahay, dili man dayon ma-discover. So, katong pagpasok, tapos na mo mga points ana, that will be cancelled. And the opponent's, katong score sa opponent will remain valid. Valid, no? O, yan ang consequence, guys. Pag halimbawa, mayroon kang sala na illegal substitution. Another one, substitution procedure. Substitution must be carried out within the substitution zone. Ito na yung sinabi ko sa inyo, no? A substitution shall only last the time needed for recording the substitution on the score sheet and allowing entry and exit of the players. Kanang mag-exchange, no? Papasok yung isa, lalabas yung isa. And also, kasama na yung recording sino yung lumabas, sino yung pumasok. Okay? Yun lang, no? That is the time for the substitution. So, the actual request for substitution starts at the moment of the entrance and substitute players into the substitution zone. Okay, naraman diha ang first referee. Tapos, okay, kung naay mag-una-una, i-hold man ka sa second referee. Okay, naraman na siya sa duol, guys. So, the actual, the coach, okay, the actual request for substitution starts at the moment of the entrance of the substitute player into the substitution zone, ready to play during an interruption. So, dili man magtawag, while na ay rally, dili man magtawag of substitution. It will be during the interruption. Or, na complete na yung rally and wala pa nag-whistle for the next service ang referee. The coach does not need to make substitution hand signal. Dili na kinanglan nga mag-ana-ana. Kaya nga naman, una-una, you already requested that one doon sa referee and that will be the second referee will know it because siya yung mag-authorize ng substitution. Okay? So, the coach does not need to make substitution hand signal except if the substitution is for injury or before the start of the set. Okay? Before the start of the set. So, pwede lang mo hand signal ang coach kung na injury on court sa young players or before the start of the set. So, pwede ka ask for, pwede ka mag-hand signal ng substitution. If the player, for example, you are a substitute, no? If the player is not ready, kasi kailangan nandun ka sa substitution zone before nagkaroon ng or completed rally or interruption, no? If the player is not ready, the substitution is not granted and the team is sanctioned for a delay. O, see? Simple as that, guys, no? Kung halimbawa, you requested for a substitution, pero ang substitute wala pa doon sa substitution zone, that will not be granted. And ang tendency, i-sanction pa mo for delaying the game. Okay? Delaying the game. Halimbawa, nag-request mo, tapos nagkaroon na ng interruption. Pag-whistle, para sa wala pang player, asa man nag-adto, nangihi pa, or pa sa warm-up area, ay dili na siya i-grant. Okay? The request for substitution is acknowledged and announced by the scorer or second referee. So it will be the scorer or referee by the use of the buzzer or whistle respectively. The second referee authorizes the substitution. Kaya doon lang man na sa iya ang area, ang substitution zone. No? Na lang sa iyang kilid. Katugong sa center line o katong sa attack line, pero dito sa free zone, sa gawas. For International Volleyball Federation, world and official competitions, numbered paddles are used to facilitate the substitution. Kanagong naay murag lapad ana guys, murag paddle ba nga na siya number. Like for example, number 20, number 10, mugawas. So, signal lang na siya na siya ang mag-leave, tapos papasok yung nasa, ano. So, we call that one as numbered paddles. They are used to facilitate the substitution, including when electronic devices are used. Wala may electronic so far. So, if, at naintindihan niyo yan, tapos, itaas ang numbered paddle. Tanaw man na sila kasi siyempre mag-whistle man ang ano. Tapos, out. And then, pag out, ay papasudlon si substitute. If a team intends to make simultaneously more than one substitution, all substitute players must enter the substitution zone. Like for example, in one request, duha ang musulod, duha po ang mugawas. So, players must enter the substitution zone at the same time to be considered in the same request. No? Para ma-consider siya na isa lang siya ka-request. Kaya kung paisa-isa, that will not be granted. Kaya kailangan na hapay completed rally. In this case, substitutions must be made in succession. Okay? So, one pair of players after one another. Mugawas ang isa, dili magsabay ang duhang mugawas, no? Isa-isa lang. Okay? If one is illegal, if one is illegal, the legal one is granted and the illegal is rejected and subject to the delay sanction. Like for example guys, nag-request og duha ka nag-request og timeout during substitution during interruption. Tapos, duha ka players ang mag-out, duha ka players ang mag-in. So, nana silang duha sa substitution zone. Kanya kaning isa, legal substitution. Ang isa kay illegal man. So, kaning legal, pasudlon. Kaning illegal, dili pasudlon. Okay? Dili po mo gawas tong starting line up. Because you asked for you did a illegal substitution, then there will be a penalty for that as to delaying the game. Okay? So, naana siya ay penalty. Sa gatong penalty, either point and service to the opponent. Okay, ano man na, ma-fall man na siya sa penalty guys. Diba ang penalty, light lang ang iyang sanction. Kato lang, example point and service to the opponent. Kay light lang kayo na siya nga, light lang ba compared to others sala for misconduct. Okay, dito tayo sa improper request. It is improper to request any regular game interruption. It is improper, ha? When? During a rally? Siyempre kung rally, dili ka mag-request ng regular game interruption. It may be substitution or timeout. you are not, that is improper request. Okay? Tandaan ninyo ha, improper request during, when you ask for it during rally or after the whistle to serve. Nag-whistle, nag-serve, ay pa ka mo request for a regular game interruption. That is improper request. The request is requested by a non-authorized team leader, a team member. Okay? Ang nag-request, na-mention ko din ito kanina, di ba? Ang nag-request is, dili siya game captain. That is improper request. Another one, for a second substitution by the same team during the same interruption, kadua siya nag-request of substitution during one interruption, except in the case of injury, exempted yan siya. Injury of a player in play. So kung kadua mo nag-request for substitution during one interruption, that is improper request. Are you following? AJ, are you following, class? Hello?
Hello.
Wala dito interaction, ano ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige. Kung ibaba na ko ang ako ang kuan, guys.
Hindi makita,
Ayaw pa
ma'am.
na ako makita po na kung kaugalingan. Sige, David, yung mayroon doon. Ay, dito na tayo sa another one, guys, improper request. After having exhausted the authorized number of timeouts, naubos na yung timeouts and substitutions. And then still, you requested. That is improper request. Because you already know that you already exhausted the timeouts and substitutions. Okay? So the first improper request by a team in the match that does not affect or delay the game shall be rejected. So for example, guys, si EJ nag-request of another timeout. No? Pero kung halimbawa, any of the above, guys, kung halimbawa, first improper request, no, any of the above by a team in the match that does not affect or delay the game shall be rejected. I-reject lang na siya, guys. So, walay consequence. No? Walay consequence. But, it must be recorded on the score sheet. Kaya kung napay ikaduha, nag-request na pud ka o kanang time out na kabalo ka nga exhausted na or either na po illegal substitution. Yan, no? So, but that is the purpose na it will be recorded in the score sheet because any further, kung nakapay mga improper request, no? Halimbawa, improper request ka ng mga kaglaing time out, isa. Kung nakapag kay another improper request by the same team, that constitutes a delay, no? Delaying the game. So, nana siya, guys, nana siya sanction. So, ito na yon. Dito na tayo sa game delays. There are two types of delays. Okay? Kanang mga pahatik, no? Okay. Types of delays. An improper action of a team that defers resumption of the game is a delay. No? Kana bitong atik-atik para dili din mag-start. Delaying tactics ba? Includes among others. Ito na yung mga improper action of the team that differs resumption of the game. Iglalis ka or mga ingana, improper action yan siya. So, delaying regular game interruption. Delaying regular game interruptions. Ano gani yung mga regular game interruptions? Timeouts, substitutions. So, if you are delaying that one, proper action yan siya, no? Delaying. So, game delays yan. Prolonging interruptions after having been instructed to resume the game. Nag-whistle na ang referee, wala pa gyapon mo nagsulod. Naalang gyapon mo sa free zone. Okay? Another one. Types of delays ito ha. Requesting an illegal substitution. Sa wala sa listahan, request lang gyapon o kuan. Okay? Another one. Repeating an improper request. Okay? Ano gani yung mga improper request, guys? O yan, kanang urot na ang kuan. Wala na timeouts, wala na substitutions, and yet mag-request pag yun. Kanang mag-request of substitution or interruption, and yet he is not authorized, no? Kanang player nga dili man game captain. Kabalo na ka nga dili ka pwede, nag-request ka, dili na siya pwede. Okay? Asa na taan din? If the player ay asa naman ta? Delaying the game by a team member, like magtali sa medyas, yan. Delay sanction. Ito yung mga sanction pag you're delaying the game. Delay warning and delay penalty are team sanctions. Ang delay sanctions remain in force for the entire match. Agoy. It means na kani nga sanction para sa tibok nga game, di na ka balik. All delay sanctions are recorded on the score sheet. Okay? Naka-record na siya, guys. The first delay in the match by a team member is sanctioned with, ito na yung mga delay, ha? Sanction. Wala lagi. Delay warning. It is with penalty, no? Delay warning. The second and subsequent delays, kaning first, guys, is rejected ni siya. Or I think dili siya rejected, guys. Parang score and service to the opponent. Pag delay warning, the second and subsequent delays, kung napailain ng mga delays of any type by any member of the same team in the same match constitute a fault and are sanctioned with delay penalty. Okay? So, pag sinabi natin delay penalty, it is only a point and service to the opponent. Delay sanction imposed before or between sets are applied in the following sets. So, for example, you have your penalty is during the set that will be applied in the following set. Okay? Again, delay sanctions imposed before or between sets are applied in the following set. Okay, dili dayon kung halimbawa before or between sets siya na nangyari, no? Exceptional game interruptions, guys. So we have here injury or illness. Should a serious accident occur while the ball is in play, the referee must stop the game immediately and permit medical assistance to enter the court. Okay? Okay. Kung dili na din kaya nga doon sa tagawa sa court, so musulod yun ang medical assistance. The rally is then played. Replayed, guys, replayed kung asa nag-stop. If an injured player cannot be substituted legally or exceptionally, the player is given a 3-minute recovery time. Pa din siya recovery time. Kung halimbawa guys, wala na mag-sub sa iya, no? Legal substitute. So, tagaan siya o 3-minute recovery time. But not more than once for the same player in the match. So kung halimbawa, nagkaroon na namang injury, dili na siya tagaan o kuan guys, sa the same player, ha? Dili na siya tagaan o kanang 3-minute recovery time. Kung the same player. If the player does not recover, his team is declared incomplete. Okay, gamay na lang guys, and then we will have 6:30 man data, no? Gamay na lang eh. Oh, yan. Gamay na lang, no? So, dito tayo sa exceptional. Dito. If there is an external interference during the game, the play has to be stopped and the rally is replayed. Can you give me example of interference? Example, Earl. Anong mga external interference during the game? The play, wherein the play has to be stopped and the rally is replayed.
Parang for example, ma'am, na ay bato or lagpot na bola gikan sa pikas nga court.
Ayan na, no? So, i-replay lang siya. Okay? Pero kung kung lang na siya, mga external interference or passing na ay nahulog sa court or anything, no? Na maka-interrupt sa laro. Pero if it is a prolonged interruption, can you give me example, guys, of prolonged interruption? Mga unforeseen circumstances. Example.
Unforeseen?
Kanang unforeseen circumstances.
Brown out, ma'am.
Brown out. Kung halimbawa sa gawas, ulan, or sa ba, kanang bagyo ba, or mga unforeseen circumstances, or nabay mga gera, gera. Dili kanang nain mga violent good nga mga situations in the surroundings, ay sunog, or anything, no, prolong siya that will interrupt the game. So if unforeseen circumstances interrupt the match, the first referee, the organizer, and the control committee, if there is one, shall decide the measures to be taken. Sila ang magsabot, no, to re-establish normal conditions. Halimbawa day o kanang na ay linog, dili. Halimbawa, dito, example lang guys ha, dito ta nagdula, na competition sa taas, sa 5th floor ba na? Dili man pa, although ang linog, mustap na siya, pero dili na pwede nga magpadayon. Kay panaugon ba tanan, di ba guys? So, magsabot na ang organizer, referee, kung kanus ma-normalize na ang condition. Example na siya, should one or several interruptions occur not exceeding 4 hours in total. If the match is resumed on the same playing court, the interrupted set shall continue normally with the same score. Kung wala siya nag-exceed of 4 hours ang interruptions, guys, no? Pero syempre, kung halimbawa, guys, linog, earthquake, hindi pa man na kay. Syempre, i-check pa ang building, mga ingana, good guys. So, kung exceed na siya og 4 hours, nga dili pa okay, dili pa siya pwede na magamit ang court, musobra na sa 4 hours, then, pero kung wala pa, halimbawa ulan, tapos less than 4 hours lang man, dili siya prolong. So, the match is resumed on the same playing court. The interrupted set shall continue. I-continue lang itong kung pila ang score, nga na. With the same score, players, the same gapon ng players. Except doon sa na-expelled or disqualified, guys, na positions. Disqualified gapon sila, expelled gapon sila. It will not change, no? So the sets already played will keep their scores. Katong, alimbawa, nangyari ang interruption sa kanang mga prolong interruption, like kanang mga unforeseen, good guys, on the third set, sa fifth set, no? Pero katong first and second set na nanay-score, it will remain. Ang katulang third set ang desisyonan. Okay? Pero kung halimbawa it did not exceed 4 hours, continue lang ang score sa third set kung asa nag-stop. If
Magkano to?
the match is resumed on another playing court, the interrupted set is cancelled. O, halimbawa, kung halimbawa na on the third set na ay i-resume ang ang game sa, let's say for example, na more than 4 hours. Pag i-resume na ang dula, guys, in another court, no? Katong interrupted set is i-cancel na to siya, guys, and mag-start na po siya og new set. No? Magsugod na po og kanang i-replay. I-replayed with the same team members and the same starting lineup. So, ano lang ang score. I-replayed lang, no? Replayed lang. Canceled na ang kuan. So, same starting lineup, except doon sa disqualified. Dili na to siya considered. Except expelled or disqualified ones. And the record of all sanctions will also be maintained. Okay? Kasi nga, katong expelled jud ka, bisang pag there will be a replay of the game, no? Of the set. Kay, ang record of all sanctions will be maintained. So the sets already played will keep their scores also. So, just like the third set, i-replay na siya, mag-start na po one, cancel ang game na third set because of the interruption or mga unforeseen mga circumstances, and mag-play doon sa ibang court. Okay? Same starting lineup, same players, pero nandun pa rin remain pa rin yung sanctions doon sa mga expelled and disqualified players. Okay? And ang score ng first set and second set will remain. That will be kept. Gamay na lang, guys. Okay, and ito na. Should one or several interruptions occur, exceeding 4 hours in total, the whole match shall be replayed. The whole match will be replayed. Kung exceeding 4 hours in total. So, dito na tayo sa intervals.
Ha? Pila?
Intervals and chains of chords. Time, okay. An interval is the time between sets. Kanang pag-end na sa set and before the start, no? All intervals last for 3 minutes. And that includes, so during this period of time, katong sa interval, the change of chord, na maglipat kayo sa kabilang chord, and kung mag-change kayo ng line up, no? Halimbawa, si Jason, palitan ng another na setter or yung mga ganun, no? Mayroon kayong palitan because, for example, ang good na it's not having a good performance or your first set, for example lang, no? Or, okay? So, That includes the change of court, the line-up registration, because that will be recorded on sa score sheet. The interval between the second and the third set can be extended up to 10 minutes by the competent body at the request of the organizer. Kasi nga, ang between the third set and the second set is actually, kanang interval ana guys, mao naman guna ang murag tagaan sila more time na interval kasi nga, di ba, pag may ang ika third set man good, mao na ang deciding set na wala nang fourth set o fifth set. Kaya kung naay magdaog diri sa third set, tapos na ang laro. So, that is why bigyan ng more extended time sa interval, no? During the or between the second and the third set of 10 minutes. So, pila gani ang interval? All intervals last for 3 minutes. Chains of chords or chains of ends. After each set, the teams change chords with the exception of the deciding set.
Makatawa ko sa
So it
mga
means
post ni ba?
sa 5 ka set guys, sa championship match ito ha, when we say regular set, kanang 2 out of 3. Championship match is katong 3 out of 5. So, mag-change court bawat set except on the 5th set. Okay? That is the deciding set. Once the leading team, okay, so tapos, for example, tapos na ang fourth set. Tapos, 2 wins, 2 wins. So, mayroon pang 5th set. So, sa 5th set, dili na mo mag-change of court or change of end. Okay? You will only change court when one of the team or the leading team reaches the score of 8 points. Diba sa deciding set guys is hanggang 15 lang. So, muna siya 1/2 plus 1 guys is 8 points. The teams change courts without delay and the player's position remain the same. So kung halimbawa kung sa inyong position that in the before mo nag-change court, ganun pa rin yung position niyo when you change court. When you go to the opposite court. If the change is not made once, the leading team reaches 8 points. Halimbawa guys, na nakalimutan ng referee, for example, na mag-change court at 8, nag-9 na, it will take place as soon as the error is noticed. So, kung halimbawa na notice at the score of 10 or 9, that will just be corrected, no? The score at the time that the change is made remains the same. Dili mag-matter ang score. The same lang gyapon ang score, the same lang gyapon ang position. So, nang-matter lang kung halimbawa, there are times na malimtan nga mag-change court at 8, walang consequence yan, walang reduction of score or whatever, no? The referee will just give a signal na mag-change court even if lumampas na sa 8, no? So, i-rectify lang na siya. I think that is all about interruptions, delays, and intervals. Okay? Do you have any questions? Okay, mag-break muna tayo guys because I will be making also some. If I cannot make it, then saan tayo live? Uy! Si Leo? Present daw si Leo. Sino pang present? Okay guys, remember that the next practicum ninyo is overhand pass. Napot sila. Isa pa. Okay, review mo na guys. Napot si Danny. Isa pa na. Orange kaya ko ang damit ba? Siga kayo. Danaw? Siga kaya kong suotan? Donnie! Isa pa biyang wala na set na akong attendance. Maliwak. Pagyo na. Ano? Pakorik, Chua, Tolentino, Verana. Okay, let's have a break muna. Malinaw. Latina, na-check